The white smoke billowed out of the chimney. A new pope was chosen. And
Here we are.
And he's American. Absolutely insane. We're going to share some of our thoughts on this historic event that happened last week. Welcome back to the What's the Dope podcast. Like we said in the intro, absolutely insane, surprising news for the Christian Catholic world. Pope has been chosen.
So cool, though, that he's American.
He's one of us. He's one of us.
And I did not think like our generation would live that day.
Same. Let's get it out. Let's get all of the surprises out. I mean, let's say all of the things.
It's also so cool.
So cool. Never thought it would happen. I mean, I know I caught myself a couple of times telling people, I mean, they'll never be an American pope.
Right. Right.
Never be an American. They would never do it. Too much power. I mean.
And like what?
Who's they?
Really, it shows that the Holy Spirit really is in charge of everything.
Yeah.
And just uses those men like as vessels.
Yeah. To kind of have God's will in there. I mean, because it is really insane. I mean, 2,000-year-old church. I mean, America's only been around for a couple hundred years, but right. I mean, that you heard the narrative in the chorus over and over again. There would never be an American. And when I don't know about you, because I was at work, but when they said American, first they're announcing, and we got to set the stage. You know what I mean? Let's okay. We got all of the surprise out. We got all of the
moments.
And I mean, setting the stage when the conclave blows out the white smoke, when the white smoke billows out.
Yep.
There's kind of like an hour.
Yeah, it was definitely anticipating. I was working too, but I work remote, and it was around lunchtime, which was nice because I was able to enjoy it fully. But I was at my parents' and they had it on in the background, and the white the white smoke came out, and it's just like, okay, here we go, an hour of anticipation.
And you're texting people, you're looking, the pomp and circumstance are insane. The lead up to it, there's Swiss Guard is marching,
right?
There's trumpets going, just like, dude, like you see people running into St. Peter's Square, and you have no idea what's happening, who it's going to be, and I love that about the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Like when we do something, we do it right. You know what I mean? When we do something big and grand, we do it right. Like there's absolutely no leaks. There's no hey, I'm getting a text here and they say it's going to be no one knows.
Right. And because even the commentaries going on, like we were switching, we were flipping like channels and seeing what station was saying which channel was saying what, and like not a single channel was like, you know what? I think it might be a pope from America.
I know.
It was just.
It was insane.
So unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
Is that the right word?
I agree. And there was a lot of the names that were being thrown around, and all the commentators were saying the same names. Tagle, Parolin, Peter Turkson, Sarah from Africa. Like there's a lot of these names being thrown around.
Right.
And for me, I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know. And because they announce it in Latin. And when they announced it in Latin and then something in Italian, and all I heard was Americano, I was like, what?
I didn't even hear that. He came out and they announced it. And I was like, I looked over at my parents. I was like, I don't understand. Who is it? And then the commentator came out and said the first American pope. And we literal gasped out loud, like, the first American pope. Are you kidding me?
I literally was at work, gasped. I could keep it pretty cool, calm, collected at work and stuff. I gasped. I was like...
Where people asked you, right?
People are like, what's going on? I was like, they just elected the first American pope. People are like, oh, okay. Okay, so nothing's wrong with work? No. Oh my gosh, right, we're working. I forgot about that. I'm watching the Conclave right now. So if you need me, talk to me in a couple hours because I am offline officially. I mean, I gasped. I could not believe it.
Yeah.
And they brought him out and it was so cool. Didn't really know much about him. I think like a lot of us never really knew much about Father Prevost.
Right. You know what's funny? This is such a maybe millennial American thing. Of course, start Googling his name and you go to his Wikipedia. So I was reading his Wikipedia. I was like, what if I refresh it? This was 30 seconds in. I was like, is it going to be updated? I refreshed it, updated. 2 minutes later, I refreshed it again, updated.
We just want to shout out all the Wikipedia hounds out there. You guys are good at your job. I mean, you literally had a Wikipedia page open, ready to go.
Right.
And you did it.
It was so funny. I was like, wow, they keep updating this pretty promptly.
It was insane. Yeah. And like I kept like linking. I was literally on there, kept linking to something, and back all of a sudden it started filling up. I was just like, shout out the Wikipedia warriors. You guys are so fast. It was absolutely insane. I think like, yeah, I was shocked. I gasped. It was incredible. It was special. He came out and like obviously he was welling up with emotion. He gave a very nice speech. Talk about your kind of thoughts with the speech.
You know, what was really sweet was our son. He's over 2.5, close to being 3, and he was kind of enthralled. Like he was just kind of staring, and he's in a state of what's this, mommy? What's this, mommy? And so it was so cool to see him like stare at the crowd, stare at the Pope, stare at the white smoke. What's that, mommy? And be able to explain that to him was really, really cool. Yeah. But as back to what you said or asking me, him coming out for the first time, what was so moving was how moved he was. Yeah. How like moved in emotion he was, overwhelmed. In such a good way. Like he looked out and was like, I am called to lead these people. And you could kind of see in his face the excitement, the fear, because he's human. The overwhelmingness of just all the emotions. And then I just love that he said and opened with, the first words of the risen Christ was peace be with you. Yeah. Yeah. And the word peace was so moving for me, and I felt so comforted by it, and comforted that our leader, one of the first words he said to the people was peace. Yeah. Like, peace be with you. I agree. And that's what I need always. I'm always asking and praying for peace. So to know that the leader of our church is also just in that mindset of peace was really cool.
Yeah, because like there's so much buildup and narrative that we have and kind of what we put meaning to this Pope and the election process. And the first thing he kind of leads with is not like, thank you, everyone, or like, this is awesome. He's just like, peace be with all of you. And I think when the Holy Spirit is present and when grace abounds in a place, in an area through the words, you feel it. Yeah. Like you can feel it. It just makes sense. And it's hard to describe that grace sometimes or that peace that the Lord can give. But like the Holy Spirit guiding the cardinals to pick Pope Leo XIV and his first words being peace, like it's like Christ speaking through him to all of us. Right. And you can feel that peace. You're like, yeah, like, okay, that's right. The risen Lord, peace be with, like, I feel it. Yes. And I think it was such like I agree. In Easter season, a perfect, perfect message to be received. Yeah. Like what he said, obviously he had to write that in a half hour or whatever, and which is insane thinking about.
In the room of tears, is that what they call it?
The room of tears, yeah. After they get elected, they get ready in the room of tears. I mean, thinking about that, I mean, yeah, they call it the room of yells for me. I'd be yelling, I'd be screaming. I'm married. How did this happen? No. I just totally resonate with that. And I think it was so great. And I agree that like, he obviously had a lot of emotions. But one thing I felt and saw was that when he was speaking, though, it was clear, it was confident, it was in control, it was spirit-led. Like you could see he was filled with emotions, but it was just like Pope Leo had this awesome spirit-led message where it was just strong and powerful, and you could feel the Holy Spirit like through him. Yes. Yeah. And so that was really powerful to me.
Yeah. And really just, I think as we touched, that the Holy Spirit was present as they chose him and as he's walking out, as he's giving the first words. But how reassuring it is that everything is led by the Holy Spirit. And how reassuring that the Holy Spirit is all-knowing and unfazed by maybe the like what the culture says or the political.
This is who we need.
Yes.
This is who should be Pope. What we say.
What we say, yes. And the Holy Spirit is just, no, the Pope that you need actually is American.
When the Lord leads, it's surprising sometimes of who he says, no, this is actually what you need. Yeah. And it's a reminder that we don't have all the answers. We don't actually know what's best sometimes. We actually can't predict the future, predict what's going to happen. It can be surprising, but it also can be like reassuring that when you feel that peace, that the Lord is in control. You're like, wow, okay, God actually knows what's going on. He knows what's needed. Right. Where the world says and Catholics say, oh, there will never be an American Pope. The Lord's like, boom, American Pope.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, whoa, like.
It's what the church needs.
Yeah, this is obviously what the church needs because, like, you know what I mean? If it was up to us, we would, or humans, we would maybe never have American Pope. But the Holy Spirit was leading these cardinals, and it's like the perfect man for the perfect time. And we'll see what that looks like.
Right.
You know, it's only been a week, but obviously we'll see what that looks like, and we'll see how his pontiff is the perfect thing for the time. We don't know why. Right now.
Yeah, I think just reassuring that the Holy Spirit chose through the vessel, obviously, of the cardinals, but the Holy Spirit was in charge, and that is so comforting.
All right, so what does it mean that Pope Leo XIV is American? Like, what does it mean? What does it matter? I think first and foremost, we have to kind of establish what it doesn't mean. This doesn't mean that America, United States, is running the church now. It doesn't mean that we're all the number one country running the Catholic Church. This is a very American point of view.
Yeah,
everything's kind of a competition for us. We are number one. We have it on t-shirts. So it is official that the USA is number one. But when it comes to the Catholic Church and this American Pope, doesn't mean we're running the church. I think why it's important that he's American is that it's going to put the American Catholic Church in a little more spotlight. I think sometimes the American Catholics can feel a little bit like we're
on the back burner, maybe?
On the back burner. Maybe a little more American than Catholic. We get lumped in with America being, ambitious, a superpower, career-focused, Americans, the biggest, the boldest. And sometimes as American Catholics, we can get lumped in as American more than Catholics. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I think that, it matters that Pope Leo's American because there's going to be opportunities for the American church to step up. I think that's why it matters. Not because we're going to get more attention, but because we're going to have opportunities to step up as American Catholics. There's going to be opportunities to have more vocations, deeper vocations, to continue to reach out to the world with our talents, our skills, our time, our service. And because the Pope is going to be in a constant state of attention, we are going to get lumped in a little bit with that. And I think the Lord is going to kind of put opportunities for all of us to really step up and, in all honesty, make America, more Catholic, make America deeper and draw in deeper relationship with Jesus. I think this is an opportunity for that to happen in our country. And I know that sounds crazy, because I think as America, it's always no, money and power, that is our religion here in this country. Money and power and politics, that is the American way. But I truly think there's an opportunity for us as Americans to spread the gospel and spread opportunities to know Jesus Christ more and more in our country to everyone.
Well, and it brings it down for me as a mom to a realistic goal, I guess, or reality that I, as an American mom, am actually raising kids that could be very big leaders of our church. It brought the idea that the kids I'm raising could be and will be leaders in our church. And so as their mom, being called to that, raising them for that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think another really cool thing about Pope Leo is that he has expressed himself that he has a missionary's heart. He was a missionary in Peru for 20 years, continued to have a life of service after in the Vatican. He's expressed this love for being on mission. And I think it's really awesome to have a leader who has such a mission-based heart and a missionary's heart. Because for us, our lives we're on mission. And it's hard sometimes in the day-to-day life to feel like you're on mission. And you can feel monotonous or I just have to do these things and have this checklist. But what's refreshing is that the leader of our church is a servant first. He said yes. And he has a missionary's heart. And so I think for us, it's we can have our hearts be open to what our mission is in life. You know?
And I think there's a reality that the Catholic Church has gotten, I think, a lot better being like mission oriented, mission facing, but there's a reality that we couldn't always improve in having a missionary mindset as like a Catholic church. And so to have a leader that has that missionary mindset, I think is going to help the Catholic Church and Catholics have that mindset too of the truth that we are on mission. I think he'll do great at that.
Yeah, and the mission field is not just in like the hills of Peru or the cities of Manila. The mission field is wherever God has placed you and I. And I think it's about the disposition of our heart to say, hey, wherever God places me, I'm going to bring the good news of the gospel of Jesus to whoever is around me. Yeah. And I think that's hard.
Yes.
I think sometimes it's actually might be easier to say, I'm going to go do a mission year somewhere abroad and serve and give my time. It can sometimes be harder to share the message of Jesus with the people around your life.
Day-to-day life, yeah.
Yeah, because not everyone's really looking for that on the surface. But I think the response that we should have to Pope Leo's missionary heart is that everyone does actually need the truth of Jesus Christ. Everyone actually does need the gospel message shared. And it's up to us to have our heart respond to his call of being a missionary, to say, all right, like I'm just going to share the gospel with my words sometimes when it comes up, with my actions. Yes. But my heart is going to be oriented towards God to say, like, I'm here on a mission with you, with Pope Leo, to spread the message of Jesus Christ to people and to ultimately win souls for Jesus, to help people have an encounter with Jesus. Jesus is going to do the changing of hearts. It's not me and you. Jesus is going to do the changing of hearts, but can we introduce people in our life to Jesus? Right. I think that's like the missionary heart, and that's the kind of response we can have as missionaries.
Yeah, that's great and true.
So, final little question.
Okay.
Final question. I just want to ask you a question. What would you say to Pope Leo? What would the question you would ask? What would you say to Pope Leo if you had 30 seconds with him?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, this might sound selfish.
Go for it.
I would ask him to pray for me.
I don't think that's selfish. I think that's probably what everyone asks, some version of that. Being like...
I feel like, I don't know why I feel like that would be selfish, but if I had 30 seconds with him, I would tell him the top things in my...
He's like, ma'am, this is not a confession. I'm sorry. This is not a confession.
It would turn into a confession, basically.
I have to be honest. I'm actually in the Pokemobile right now. But great. I'll pray for you. Okay. No, I think that's awesome. I would do
What about you?
I would probably say, how can I be of service? How can I be... No, I'm kidding. Just like, basically, like, what can I do to help you out? Like, just try to be really, like, mission focused towards him. What would I say? I would definitely say, pray for me. Yeah. I would ask for a blessing.
Me too.
Yeah. Blessings. I would ask for a blessing. I'd be like, can I just have a blessing? And that's probably what I'd ask. That's what I got right now. If I have more questions, I'll make sure to write it down. Questions for Pope Leo. Well, this has been great, Tanya, to talk and process this American Pope. It's so great. I have not gotten sick of the coverage and people talking about it. It's really a special time, and I really wanted to savor this as, American Catholics. So I thought it was great that we could talk about it. Yeah. All of you out there, let us know what you think. Drop a comment, a DM, something. We'd love to hear your experience of finding out Pope Leo became Pope, or what your reactions were, what you think it means that we have an American Pope, how we can respond with a missionary heart, how we can respond in other ways. I'd love to hear your thoughts, as always. I'd love to kind of get your take on this, because we're all in this together. This is our church together. So I'd love to get your guys' take on it all. So thank you all so much for watching, for listening. This has been great. Tanya, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks.
Always great.
I love being on here with you.
This is your podcast, so you are welcome anytime. Appreciate you so much, sweetheart. And all of you out there, thank you for watching, for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, share this so you never miss an episode. Talk to you all later.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.